And you know the sun's sitting fast, just like they say, nothing good ever lasts. Go on now and kiss it goodbye, but hold on to your love because your heart's bound to die. Go on now and say goodbye to our town, to our town. Can't you see the sun sitting down on our town, on our town? Good night. Now I sit on the porch, watch lightning bugs fly. I can't see too good, I got tears in my eyes. I'm leaving tomorrow, but I don't want to go. I love you, my town, you'll always live in my soul. And you know the sun's sitting fast, and just like they say, nothing good ever lasts. Go on now and kiss it goodbye, but hold on to your love because your heart's bound to die. Go on now and say goodbye to our town, to our town. Can't you see the sun sitting down on our town, on our town? Good night.
Good evening and welcome to this week in review. Tonight's stories include preschool closing, Art Elf Clinic a success, the kindergarten year-end celebration. These stories plus BBS Playbill, Off the Rack, and more coming up after this.
This is the place where the dawn breaks earliest. The new year comes soonest. And the Atlantic first meets the new world. You can walk the streets of the oldest city in North America. Far east of the Western world.
On Monday, May the 31st, the preschool held their closing ceremonies. Family and friends of the 7 children gathered in the school gym to help celebrate their accomplishments. They began the program with a short poem about what they wanted to be when they grew up. Amber wants to be a singer. BJ would like to be a police officer. Madison wants to be a cheerleader. It's a construction worker that Dawson wants to be. Being a doctor is Lindsay's dream. Brandon would like to be a firefighter. A hockey player is Dina's dream. Next, they entertain their audience with a couple of songs.
2, 3, go!
Michelle Mercer, coordinator of the preschool program, presented each child with a certificate of achievement. Amy Young and Joey Windsor, who have been helping with the preschool program all year, also made presentations to the children. To complete the celebrations, the children were served a lunch consisting of cake, cookies, and juice. We extend our congratulations to all the preschool students and wish them every success in kindergarten. We thank Pansy Cox for loaning us her tape of the event. The annual Art Health Clinic was a success again this year. Each person had to register with the Art Health Volunteers. Here you were given your personal information from past years and a ballot for a chance to win some very nice prizes. Once you were registered, you were asked to wait for the next available volunteer. While you waited, you were invited to take advantage of the many pamphlets on the different health-related issues. There was the Healthy Art pamphlets, Guidelines for a Healthy Art, Know Your Blood Pressure. There was also a lot of free recipes. When the volunteers were free, you were taken to a private room to have your weight checked and then have your body mass index checked. From there, you went to have your blood sugar checked. Next, it was on to the blood pressure room. We thank Raymond Billard and Sandra Billard for allowing us to follow them through the clinic. We spoke to Darlene Strickland after the clinic was over, and she told us that 148 people, 106 of whom were female, and 42 males went through the clinic. 14 people were referred for blood pressure, and 4 people were referred for blood glucose. The winners of the fruit baskets were Joyce Strickland, Georgina Buckland, Norman Eyre. Mugs and keychains were won by Daphne Strickland and Elma Ricketts. T-shirts were won by Melanie Durnford and Brad Durnford. Cornelia Parsons won the water bottle. The Art Health Clinic was brought to you by trained volunteers. Darlene Strickland, public health nurse, would like to send her sincere thanks to each and every volunteer for their time, assistance, and extraordinary effort in making this clinic such a wonderful success. On Wednesday of this week, the kindergarten class held their year-end party. Mrs. Penny, the kindergarten teacher, welcomed everyone. Mrs. Penny mentioned that this was the first kindergarten class to graduate from Burgeo Academy, and this was Mrs. Benwell's last graduation, since she will be retiring at the end of this school year. The presentations of diplomas were next. Mrs. Penny then gave out some special presentations.
Awards that we're going to give out, and they've been really anxious about these awards. They've been asking all week, who's going to get what award? So here goes. Are you ready? Okay. First of all, I'd like to present the top printing awards to 3 people in our classroom this year. And the award goes to the 3 students who did a really good job in printing in both their printing book and in their regular everyday classroom work. And this year, it's awarded to Hillary Han, Terry Lynn Anderson, and Gavin Cloger. So could you come forward, please? The next award is a math award, and this award is basically given to a student who does an outstanding job in mathematics. And it was very hard to choose this year, but we did have one student who seemed to really do well in math. Actually, he knew most of the stuff before I even introduced it. And this year, the math award goes to Andrew McDonald. The next award is kind of a quirky little award, but it's for the funniest person in our class. And this year, and he's getting ready already, he knows he got it. Who is it? EJ. Funniest person goes to EJ. And he is funny. I'll just tell you a little story about EJ. I wore a pair of black pants 2 days in a row. They were different pants, but they were still black. The second day when he came in, he announced to the class, Mrs. Penny got the same pants on 2 days in a row. He notices everything, from the smell of my perfume to how I do my hair. He always got a comment to say about everything. The next award goes to an outstanding helper. This is someone who I couldn't have gotten along without. They were always a great helper in our classroom. They always delivered the canteen order to our secretary. And whenever I wanted papers given out or papers collected in, this person was always there, up front, wanting to help. And I couldn't have done it without you, and it goes to Nicholas Standing. And the last award is presented to the most improved student. And by now, where there's only 7, you probably got it figured out. But this year we had a new student come to our school in January. And when this student came, he was very shy. And we weren't quite sure at first how he was going to get along with all the others. But I must say, he has become a totally different person since he's come to Burgeo. Not only has he improved academically, but he has improved socially as well. And he even sings in choir now, which is fantastic. So the most improved student this year goes to Bailey Parsons. Round of applause, everybody.
Lion Max Billard and Lion Norm Strickland presented all the students with a book called A Book About Me. The children entertained their audience with 2 songs, APPLE and the Butterfly Song. Paulette Ann and Krista Standing made presentations to Amanda Fever and Mrs. Penny to thank them for all they did for their children during the year. The children performed a goodbye song to close this part of the celebrations. Then it was on to the cake cutting ceremony. The 2 youngest students, Gavin Cloger and Ellery Han, were given this opportunity. Then it was time for lunch. Hot dogs, cake, and juice. The students seemed to enjoy their afternoon of fun and celebration.
Don't worry, don't move it up. Pen, just bring it up. Hi.
Catch a good Gavin?
Stay tuned for more of This Week in Review coming up after this.
It takes community to heal a village. In northern Mali, USC Canada works with local partners to find community-based ways to ensure mother-child health, food security, and jobs. Canadian agencies are helping to renew and strengthen communities throughout the developing world. This means greater opportunities for global villagers. Canadians in partnership, finding solutions that work.
Burgeo Academy held its 3rd annual music recital on Wednesday of this week. Here are a few highlights. We will show the recital in its entirety at a later date.
Four strong winds that blow lonely, 7 seas that run high, all those things that don't change, come what may. But good times are all gone, and I'm bound for moving on. Weather's good there in the fall. I got some friends that I can go to work and for. Still, I wish to change your mind if I asked you one more time. But we've been through that 100 times or more. For strong winds that blow lonely, 7 seas that run high, all those things that don't change, come what may. But our good times are all gone, and I'm bound for moving on. I'll look for you if I'm ever back this way. If I get there before the snow falls, and if things are going good, you could meet me if I send you down the fair. But by then it would be winter, ain't too much for you to do, and those winds sure can blow cold way out there. For strong winds that blow lonely, 7 seas that run high, all those things that don't change, come what may. But our good times are all gone, and I'm bound for moving on. I'll look for you if I'm ever back this way. Monkey, that fidgety thing, jumping under the rings. They puff up their lungs and stick out their tongues and hang by their tails from swings. They think you're inflame and tease and scurry around the trees. They get in a fight and argue and fight and examine each other for fleas. Some of the monkeys are glad, others are mopey and sad. The little ones run to have lots of fun and ride on their mom and dad. They chatter and scold and fuss. Their cages are all in a mess. They rush on about or go up without their ugly tails and teacher like us. There once was a puffin just the shape of a muffin, and he lived on an island in the bright blue sea. He ate little fishes that were most delicious, and he had them for supper, and he had them for tea. But this poor little puffin, he could play nothing, for he had anybody to play with that all. So he sat on his island and he cried for a while, and he felt very lonely and he felt very small. Along came the fishes and they said, if you wishes you can have us for playmates instead of for tea. So they now play together in all sorts of weather, and the puffin eats pancakes just like you and like me.
On Monday of this week, the second phase of construction at the hockey rink got underway. This is a 14-week project with 10 workers. This is a non-insurable weeks project. Brooks Construction Company is expected to be in town sometime next week to pour the cement to finish the floor surface. The workers are busy trying to level the floor with gravel in preparation for the cement. The floor is to be leveled up to 4 inches from the top of the current rink floor surface. Since Monday, the workers have used 1 truckload of fill. They are using Derek Benite's ATV to bring the gravel into the building, and these 2 workers are shoveling it and raking it into place. They have to finish this side as well as this end of the arena. This side has been completed. Piping has also been laid down in this area for draining the rink.
Good.
Two carpenters, Max Courtney and John Clodger, are busy reinforcing the plywood that has been put on the walls. We spoke to foreperson Diane, and he told us that this group of 10 workers will also be putting up the petitions for the dressing rooms, washrooms, offices, and other rooms needed at the arena. They are responsible for installing the bleachers. Some of the boards around the rink will also be replaced. On the outside of the building, a sewer line is being dug, and it seems that some blasting will needed to be done to remove some very large boulders out of the way. We will keep you updated on the progress at the arena in the coming weeks. On Friday of this week, Mrs. Marlene Batcher's grade 3 class visited the BBS studio as a part of their language program. In their language program, there is a unit on media. The students learn about the different types of media. At the BBS studio, the students took part in filming, switching, and being in front of the cameras. Most of the students read stories for us. Joey Compton read The Calabash Cat. Allison Courtney read More Pies. Brandon Day read Summer Business. Robin Courtney read Lucy Gray. Jordan Ann read Penguin Pete Ahoy. Blake McDonald read The Two of Them. Scott Porter read The Turnip Top Pony. Ryan Randall read The Pimple That Wouldn't Stop Growing. Brian Sims read Franklin and the Big Kid. Tanya Mae Skinner read Franklin Plays the Game. And Dylan Tucker concluded the reading time with Raven and the River. And we plan to show these students reading their stories on Community Channel 10 at a later date. Stay with us for Off the Rack and the BBS Playbill, all coming up after this.
There's an island, of course, and over 10,000 miles of coastline, raised up in sunshine and storm. Thousands of islands, coves, guts, and bays, with a strange and startling beauty. It's a land that lives by the sea. No wonder our dogs have webbed feet.
Off the rack. This week, as we scanned our tape rack, we came across a tape of an RCMP bike rodeo. Let's look back to June the 9th, 1994.
Good job.
Medals were then awarded to the top 3 in each grade.
Okay, everybody, we're ready to go with the kindergarten and preschool draw for the gold, silver, and bronze. Gold is for first place, and that goes to Brittany McDonald. And the silver goes to Gina Billard. The bronze goes to Michael Rose. Okay, now we're going with the grade 1. The gold medal winner is Jamie Warren. Jamie Warren. Here's Jamie. There you go.
BBS Playbill. Tune in on Tuesday for the 3rd annual music recital from Burgeo Academy. Try your luck on Wednesday by playing Understanding the Early Years TV Bingo. Before we sign off this evening, I would like to extend a sincere thank you on behalf of Ellen Marsden to all those who helped him collect recyclables for the Janeway Hospital. Because of your generosity, $564 was donated this year. And I'll be here again next week with This Week in Review. For This Week in Review, I'm Marie Rose. Good night and God bless.